Welcome to the Natural Super Kids podcast, where you will discover practical strategies to inspire you to boost the health and nutrition of your kids. I'm Jessica Donovan, a qualified naturopath specialising in kids' health, and I want to make it as easy as possible for you to raise healthy and happy kids. Let's get into it. Hello. Welcome to the final episode of the Natural Super Kids podcast for 2025. This episode is going to be short and sweet. I know you don't have a lot of spare time. You don't have a lot of capacity to be focusing on making big changes and, in terms of healthy changes for your family, which is what we focus on a lot in this podcast. So this is going to be a nice, light, easy podcast to finish off the year. I could talk to you about all the different ways you can reduce your kids' sugar at this time of the year, but really what I want to talk about is a reminder to be in the moment, to be present, and to enjoy what you can at this time of the year. I know this time of the year some people love it. Some people find it really challenging. There can be a lot of grief, a lot of complex relationships that we have to kind of navigate. We've got tired kids. Some of us have got pressure from, older generations in the family. And I know it's a lot. But I just want you to take a breath and try and enjoy the time you have to connect with your family. And that's what I really want to encourage you to focus on: connection and having fun at this time of the year, however that looks for you. Maybe you've got a camping trip planned. Maybe you've got lots of family commitments, lots of school, not school because we're past that, but all the different things that we have going on through the summer holidays. But I just, we can get caught up in all of that and how busy it is and how stressful it is and how everyone wants a piece of us, and we've got a to-do list that it feels like it's never going to end. And most of the stuff on that list, it's going to be okay if a few things get skipped or missed. A lot of the pressure that we feel at this time of the year is sort of in some ways self-inflicted. We put pressure on ourselves for the table to look perfect on Christmas Day, or our kids to have this beautifully curated collection of gifts under the Christmas tree, or whatever it might be. So I just want to remind you to relax and be present and enjoy this festive season with your family. What can you do to make it fun for you? How can you bring joy into this for you and for your family? I really want to remind you to focus on that connection and having fun with the people you love, and maybe some people that you'd prefer not to be spending time with, but it's sort of forced when it comes to extended family or, certain people in friend groups. I just want you to try and focus on the positives at this time of the year, and know that this season of life, wherever you're at the moment, whether you've got really little kids or whether you've got teenagers, each season comes with challenges, with, complexities, but it also comes with joy that one day we are going to miss. And so my I guess message to you is to try and focus on the things that we're grateful for, the things that are fun at this time of the year, making it a time of giving where we can, whether that's to our own family or our extended community. How can we think about other people that might be, less well off than us? Sometimes the things that we stress about are very privileged things to be stressing about. And so really it's just a reminder of all of those things. And it is not a time where we should be hyper-focused on getting our kids' nutrition perfect, or making sure that they're, that our babies or young people are getting, the perfect amount of sleep. I think if we can focus on some of the foundational basics and let the rest go at this time of the year, it can be much more enjoyable for us. So the things that I really like to, at least tick some of these boxes every day, is sleep, getting that good quality sleep, trying to get early nights where we can. And if it is a late night, trying to make up for that sleep, in the coming days somehow, or at least allowing ourselves to rest and our family to have that restful time as well. And sometimes that involves saying no to extra commitments. We don't have to go to every single thing. We don't have to say yes to every single get together. We can say yes to a quiet day at home with our family and feel good about that. So sleep and rest, is important for all of us. And then nourishment, like I said, it's not a time to focus on, to be ultra focused on this, but where can we nourish our family? If we've been overindulging, how can we put together a quick salad or a quick veggie platter for lunch to sort of combat some of the extra indulgences that we might have had? How can we make sure that there's nourishing food in the kitchen for breakfast, because we know we're going to be out and about and socializing for the rest of the days. So focusing on what you can do at home to nourish your family and letting the rest go. I know there are some instances where we have to be strict on things like food, intolerances or allergies or things like that. Of course, we need to focus on that stuff. But sometimes we can get hyper fixated on the amount of sugar or additives or whatever it might be that our kids are having. And although that's important in a general sense, I think there's a time and a place to sort of, if we can, let that go and focus on what's in our control so that we can enjoy the celebrations as much as everybody else. Another thing that I like to focus on is, physical activity and getting outside. And that can mean like a family sunset walk, a family walk to go and see the sunset at the beach. Or it doesn't have to be, scheduled sport activities and all of that sort of thing. But how can we, plan activities where our family is going to be outside, they're going to be active. Maybe we can move a family event from inside a house to the park, for example, or organise some days at a national park or at a beach or by the river with our family. So if we can get that outdoor time and that physical activity time, that can be beneficial for everyone. And then, of course, there's connection and fun. So making sure that we're not letting the stress and the busyness of this season of the year sort of bombard us and us lose sight of what this is all about. It's about time with family. And, of course, the meaning of Christmas is different for every family. But we want this to be a time where we're focused on connection with our family, with our loved ones, even the challenging ones. How can we bring friendliness and, connection with our kids and with our extended family during this time? And remember to have fun, make it enjoyable. Yes, it's busy. Yes, there's a lot of pressure on us as mums and dads. That there's a lot of things that we need to do. There's a lot of boxes to tick. There's long to-do lists. But remember to have fun and to try and enjoy this time as well, which I know is very easy for some of us and not so easy for others. So that is my message to you in this last podcast of 2025. I also want to say a huge thank you for your support this year. We will be back in 2026. We're going to take a few weeks off, but we will be back in mid-January-ish, I can't remember the date, with some new episodes for you. So if you have any particular topics you'd like us to cover, please send us a message on Instagram, or you can email us, jessica@naturalsuperkids.com. We already have a lot of exciting topics planned for you next Yeah. So have a wonderful festive season. Enjoy it, have fun, and focus on that connection with your family. And I will be back in your ears next year. I'll see you then. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. Head on over to our website, naturalsuperkids.com, for the show notes for this episode, as well as a whole heap of inspiration to help you raise healthy and happy kids. I'll see you next week.